What's up, everybody? Go through my social media right now. Rachel, if you're on here, yeah, I will call you after. I will call you after this. I got in town this morning, actually very early, like 4:30. Working on. I slept for probably 3 hours. Had to get up and do some run around this morning, and then just run around doing stuff all day. And finally got back. I felt I was did all my bullet points and upstairs and fell asleep for about 15 minutes and woke up about 5 minutes ago. I am back in town for a week. And then I have two more weekends I think I have to when I'm done. Talked to Jeff today for a while, twice. And guys, don't be talking shit about my fingernails. I've been at the branch for 4 days in mud. It rained, guiding. Kind of ramble a little bit before I get people coming on. If you guys haven't watched that podcast, I was at the ranch and Rachel and Bob wanted to talk about some things that they've been asking. I actually think that if you take out all the skips and I think that was a great podcast. I was probably one of the best podcasts I think I've seen. They asked a lot of questions. Tried to answer them without Jeff being here, where I was at. And then, but those were a lot of questions. Go back and look at that podcast. I'll do it right now. Let me see if I got what I got on here. I know there's got to be somebody on there. Already got 23 people and I'm into it for 3 minutes. So a few things I want to talk about tonight. And yeah, Jeff's going to come on later on. But I do want to talk about social media and how social media is blowing up. And I think it has a lot to do with the people that we have, because I have seen a lot of people posting videos. The one thing, and because I think social media is the future, I think we're getting more and more people out there that start posting videos. It used to be where nobody wanted to put yourself out there because of the criticism they were going to get, or people just being a-holes. But I think that's going away a lot now because a lot of people are doing it. So, and it's fun. I mean, if you think about it, it's pretty fun. I videotaped my softball games for 17 years now. Playing. Actually, I videotaped games in the 80s with one of those big cameras. Brought it out to it was horrible though, but it was still 1980s. I was videotaping my games. And but I think everybody has a phone, and I think it's a lot easier now hitting BP, the bat of your choice, and it's just not. I do see a lot of short porch, but it's the other everybody just not necessarily representing a brand, but just getting your face out there. I think the best, and I've been asked this question years: how do I get noticed? For one, videotape yourself hitting. 44 375s if you're a senior, not hot balls, but just videotape yourself hitting, and people will see that. Put your name down there, and you don't have to, say I'm looking for a team, but people will reach out and look for you if you're from that area, they find out where you're from, which is usually on the video, and they will reach out to you. If you want to get noticed, there's a couple of things. If you want to get noticed, social media is the big platform to do that, because everybody's on social media, TikTok, whatever. Put out a video of yourself and hitting, kind of put your age in there too. And even if you're playing U-Trip too, I mean, that's another thing. Just put out video. That's all you have to do. Another thing too is there's some websites out there. There is some groups out there that are looking for players. And be when you're looking, like I've had a lot of people ask me, I'm from this area. Do you know anybody looking to pick up? Texas, especially. Are y'all guys looking for any players? What I would do is, SSUSA has a website and it says, players looking for teams or teams looking for players. I actually in 2009 posted on that, got picked up real fast out of Austin. Murray Williams was he played for a team, Austin Rock, out of Austin, Texas, and I started playing with them. I think a year or two, Murray. It might have been a year or two. I know he's on here watching because he's a short porch guy. Likes to find out the new stuff or what's going on. The topic of this is 2026, and we're going to talk about things, not too much, but just things that are going on 2026. I've got a few things I want to talk about now, but like I was talking about with social media, it is the future. Jeff knew that years ago. Social media is just, it's very good. It could be very bad, but it's very good. Guys, get on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, X. Follow me, guy. I have a lot of followers. I have a lot of friends on Facebook. Just follow me on Facebook. It doesn't just have to be a friend request. I'm tapped out. I have as many as I want. I actually went through and started deleting who I thought was fake or trying to sell apparel and stuff like that. And it takes a long time to go through. I think it took 2.5 hours to go through 5,000 people and find out who was real, not. I actually went through really fast and started deleting. Everybody didn't have a face. It was just blank. I deleted all of them. So if I deleted you and you don't have a face on there and it's just blank, it's just a red flag for me. And I get rid of them. The one thing, we talk about reps here. The one thing we talked about with Rachel, her and Bob's got some ideas about how we're going to do the rep thing. And I think that's moving forward going to be really big, because I think they're the ones that are going to carry us to that next level. You got to have, they're the link. And I talked to Jeff and Leslie about this, but what it is, it's, you got to have, you're as strong as your weakest link. That's Lou Simmons said that back in the day, powerlifting. And I really do believe that. So when you have all the links in a chain that are strong, it actually helps you succeed. It actually helps you get better. Reps are part of that. So, but there is, many times we have a rep page, and the reps, we need to get a lot of our reps in tune with what's going on, and me and Jeff talking, or any podcast that comes up. All of them do not watch me, and they're not following what me and Jeff are talking about. And then later on, they start asking questions about bats, which we usually go through the bats when we talk about them on here. The reason I know that they're not following me or they're not watching is because I am a part of that rep group with Short Porch. It's a private group that has all of our reps, most of our reps on there, and they start popping up on the front of my screen, and they're talking to each other. You have this bat available, or you have this bat, or nobody says anything about watching. They're talking about different stuff. So I know you're not watching. So you've been busted. You need to watch. Rachel and Bob talked about this the other day. How can we get very fast the movement out there? Because we do. If you're going to swing our product, you have to get educated. It's not like any other bat company. You got to get educated on who to fit, how to fit people, depending on bat speed, height, weight, leverage. What's the breakdown on a 28 ounce compared to a 25 ounce? Because there is a big difference on one bat's going to lose, depending on your bat speed, one bat's going to lose compression a lot faster. So, balanced bats last longer than end loaded bats because there's not that much weight to flex that barrel when you're swinging a balanced bat. But you got to have a soft barrel, which we do. We have badass barrels on our balanced bats. Oh man, that don't need to be on the floor. So the reps need to. Rachel kind of brought this up the other day, and if Rachel, you're just not getting on here, I need to talk. I'll call you after the podcast. The reps need to get in tune if you're going to be a rep. Another thing too, there was a subject the other day about what do those guys tell a rep, because they do want to sell short porch bats, but they don't want to swing them. And like I said the other day in that podcast was, you got to be 100% committed. Now listen to this. I'm not talking about the guys that are selling our bats that works for Headbanger or Smash It. I'm not talking about those guys, because they sell, they're representing Headbanger and Smash It, and they actually sell a lot of product. And I don't think there's a lot of them. So I'm really talking about the guys that want to make money off short porch because it is hot, but then again, they want to swing that other bat. I say no. And there's a lot of reasons why, because if you're 100% committed, then you have to swing our product. And you're making money off of swinging our product. And the biggest thing is you're taking money out of the reps that are totally committed, and you might be in their area and you're taking money out of their pocket, and if you're just in this to make money and not give a shit about the brand, the movement, we have, like I said, there's other people that want to be that. We're turning people away right now because we got too many. We got our quota, not too many, but we got our quota on what we want. So a lot of people are calling to try to get in, so our pricing and reps are a lot better than other companies. getting merch or getting bats and stuff like that. So if you're not committed, no, it's just, it causes too much trouble down the line. We want our reps to be happy, and I know, that's going to make them unhappy. So I say no. And like I was playing around at the camp the other day and telling Bob, just cut them, just you're done. Call up Cage and tell Cage what the problem is, and Cage will take them off. Send them why they took them off, and get it out there. Another thing too, and if you're a factory hitter, and I want to make this perfectly clear and get it on video. If you're a factory hitter for us and you're a pro hitter, you need to swing short porch. You need to have batting gloves with short porch on them to represent the brand. We've had trouble with that in the past, but we're going into 2026, like I said in the video. In this podcast, 2026. You guys got any questions? I thought it was pretty badass the other day doing that podcast with Rachel when she was asking me the questions that you guys were asking her. I think, like I said, that was probably one of the best podcasts that I had been in, because everybody was on a roll. Everybody was sinking in. I kind of talked too much in it because I was trying to get my point across, and I was somewhere where I really couldn't get comfortable or find. If you watch the video, it's funny because I'm losing them. I'm walking around the camp, the bunkhouse, and trying to get reception because it's horrible out there. Peptides. What am I working on right now? BPC 157, TB 500 for TB4-500, KPV. That's an anti-inflammatory. I have a test subject that I'm working on. I will get back and actually do a review on that later on. I would not take any more. I would not take the pills anymore. I will not take the nasal spray anymore. The reason is because I did injections, and injections are far more better, far more faster. So yes, I will give a full review on what that has done to me. It is amazing. I like it, especially if you're having any surgery or trying to, because a lot of us older guys go through surgery, or you're just, you played a tournament, or going into a tournament. It helps me get everything loose too. It actually keeps me pretty loose. Swelling, I guess, from inflammation. That helps me out my hands, because lifting all my life, my elbows and I say all my life, 17, I started lifting and I haven't stopped lifting. So those are the peptides I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about in the future. Retatrutide, that's another one that I'm on. I'm seeing results, but I'll give you guys, before I talk about that one, I'll give you guys what I think about it. And these are guys, these are research chemicals too. They're not for human consumption. Don't go out and get it. It's for testing only. That's it. It's not approved by the FDA. So if you guys are one of those people that need something that's approved by the FDA, don't listen. Just go grab a drink or something for the next few minutes. Mott's C is another one I'm working on right now and I'm combining it with Retta. Called Retatrutide. Do your research. Go on the internet, go on YouTube, listen to everybody and hear what they have to say. There is another one that I kind of liked, and I started on it. It does help with energy, but it's B12. It's called Lipo C. It's got a bunch of good stuff in it. Choline. It's got good stuff for your brain. There is one that I'm actually working on right now, guys. That I need to talk about, and I'll talk about it later, and I won't say it later because I don't have it here in front of me. It's supposed to be good for memory fog. Remembering, as we get older, we tend to have short-term memory loss. It helps you focus. As a matter of fact, I was taking it. If you watch that video of me and Rachel, I was on it whenever I was talking in that video, and I didn't miss a beat. I was talking and I was going, and they were asking questions and I was answering them. It keeps you from getting mental fatigue. And as we get older, we have squirrel moments. That's a big saying on here, because I used to get them bad back in the day, where I just like lose train of thought whenever I would read what everybody else was saying. I kind of got away from that. I can't even see what you guys are texting right now. So those are the peptides I'm going to talk about. They are research chemicals only. They're not for human consumption. All of them are injectables. I do not take any peptides going forward that you have to take in a pill form or a capsule form, tablet form. I don't take any. There's one out there that's a nasal, but it's for the one that's I'm actually talking about. But they come in a nasal form too. On this one, the one that's good for your brain. Kind of cuts down on anxieties, depression, and I'm kind of I got it for memory fog, like talking, losing train of thought. So that's the reason I got it for. Guys, we're going into winter, and we touched on this. I think it was either last week or a couple of weeks ago. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. We're talking about winter. Everybody across the board right now. And I kind of going back and forth here too, because I keep remembering things. I want there to be a channel, and Rachel's going to talk about it tonight with me whenever I call her up, about how we can get everybody informed. How can we get, because I know for a fact a lot of our reps are watching tonight because of the views that are going up. But how can we get everybody on the same page? And I know we're getting a lot of feedback from a lot of people. I do have a website out there that you guys can look at. It's kind of it needs to be updated though. And I know whenever I get to Savannah, Georgia, that it's going to be, it's going to be on a daily update and that website, but, and maybe even put all of that information on the Short Porch website, because it's shortporchcuttingedge.com. And I'm thinking about just shutting that website down and then taking everything over to the Short Porch website, because a lot more traffic is on that website than it is on that Short Porch Cutting Edge. And it has weight distribution on there. Just happens to be a little not updated, I guess. But I do want to start updating that and have all the reps, something they can go to. There's, I thought about an app, for not only the reps, but for everybody else that is interested, the people that like listen to the movement, like listen to us talk, an app that you can get into and start designing about for yourself. Something you can put in your weight, you can put in your bat speed, height, and I kind of got a good idea on how that can be put together, because I've been doing this for such a long time with senior softball bat reviews. So I can kind of put all that together and get you really close, especially on the old bats that are out there. I thought about doing it for every bat out there, and I played with it through Lisa Boyd. I kind of talked to her about it, and she said right away, you need to get an app on this, because that's not a bad idea. All the ladies out there, it would had those in there too. So you go in there and click the ladies, you'd probably put your age in there, and I can get it pretty close where it goes. It's a formula, right? So I can get the formula pretty close whenever you're talking about your height, your weight, your bat speed, how arm length. I would even put in arm length too in there, and then ask questions. There's a questionnaire you can answer, and then click on multiple choice, and you can click on are you explosive, or are you just a looping swing. Those are questions that a lot of reps need to know when they're talking to somebody. I can watch you hit and tell you exactly what bat I would put you in, and that's just not Short Porch. I've done that for the past 15 years. And noticed that was one of the things that a lot of people didn't understand back in the day. And we're talking about 16, 17 years ago. So I thought about doing an app for that. So I'm thinking about just talking to, and I talked a little bit to Jeff today about it, is taking that and giving it to Leslie and say, here, you get me started, I can do the rest. Just get it up, code it, get it up on the computer, and I can start building this thing. So that's what we're looking at doing for the future. We're getting into the code. There are balls out there that you should not be hitting. Heavy balls, we talked about that last week, a couple of weeks ago. Heavy balls, we have some balls. We have this ball right here, one of the best balls to hit in cold weather. You want to train, guys, in the off season. You want to train with a bat that has no performance but has the same weight distribution numbers as your gamer. And you want to train with a ball that won't break bats, right? A ball that won't fly right here. This one, I just weighed it. That's the weight on that, 6.4. So that's the same as a regular ball. You don't need to be swinging anything over a 6.6, 6.5. You want to stay away from the 6.9, and you want to stay away from the 7s. They crack the shit out of bats. And there are balls out there. I'm not going to go through and tell you guys who's, because I already know. There are balls out there that are good for hitting. There are balls out there that I would stay the hell away from, because they're just too heavy. And I know why they did that, guys. They didn't do it by accident. There's two reasons why. They did it on purpose, or the ball's just too wet. But these are brand new balls that are running at 7s or 6.9, brand new. And they haven't been any kind of dew. They haven't been any kind of water. I know why they did it. I'm not going to get into why they do it, because it's not Short Porch. But you guys that are coming up, and especially this time of year, you guys are coming up and saying, well, I cracked my bat, Well, what were you hitting? Well, I know your bat cracked in 50 swing. What were you hitting? That's a lot of people don't understand that part. What kind of work, how cold was it when you're hitting? Because that ball is affected, whenever you're hitting. And here's another thing too. So say this is a regular ball. I probably got one hanging around here somewhere. Say it's a regular ball. That core gets cold. It takes a long time to get that core back to room temperature. It just you can't just set it in the sun. You just can't set it in 99-degree weather. For one, you're not going to have 99-degree weather if it got cold. So if that ball got cold, it'll be hard for a while. It doesn't matter if it's in 75, 80-degree weather outside. It's going to be cold. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hard for a while because it's cold. that's just a lot. That's information, right? That's information that we need to spread on. You will crack less bats, and I know you guys pay a lot for these bats because I listen to this guy. Listen to this. I would have bat manufacturers back in the day when I do review, and they would call me because I do a review on their bat, and it would be during the, let's say, January, February in San Antonio, and it's 85 degrees, right? So we would get out there and we'd hit, and then I would all of a sudden I get my phone blown up because the bat manufacturer saying they're saying these bats are cracking. Mine aren't. Well, can I send you some more? Yeah, send me some more. That was a badass bat. Send them to me. I got 9 delivered to me. This is just one bat company. I've had it done before. And they go, can you do a review on them and just swing them and tell me if they're cracking? I did a review on them. They're not cracking. Well, they're telling me, I said, where do they live? Where do they live? Well, they live up north somewhere. Look, why are they swinging a bat, a top tier bat? Because it was at the time. Why are they swinging a top tier bat in January, February, in that kind of weather? Because for one, it performs. A lot of people like hitting bats that perform. It's hard to stay away from it, right? Like a kid in a candy store. I got to hit it. I got to hit it. A lot of guys get bats during December when Christmas is coming up. The one thing I do want to say, since I just thought about that, was happy Thanksgiving, guys, tomorrow. And stay safe. Cut the drinking. Don't be drinking and driving. Get an Uber, a Lyft, whatever, So stay safe when you're out there, because a lot of people be driving around going from party to party, holidays. And it's been a great year, guys. It really has. Next year is going to be better, 2026. But yes, don't be hitting top tier bats. Set on them. I've done it. I've set on my gamers. So I start hitting, and I'm very anal when it comes to that. I don't just go out there and abuse bats. For one, back in the day, I didn't have the money to do that. So I kind of baby my stuff, and when breaking them into, we kind of blow and go because we're doing a lot of testing. So when we get a bat, let's say this is my bat, just came out, we grab this bat, and I'll sit there and I'll say, have at it, guys. We'll take nonstop, hitter after hitter, and we'll run it through, and we'll get a lot of swings out of it, but that's us swinging it. And we have badass balls too. Jeff hates me because I'll call him up 3 months, every 3-4 months. I say, I need another dozen of this because I'm throwing some out that way too. This is how I got 6. I got 7. I had 7. I got 6 bags of balls. I go through them and I weigh every ball because I know it's bad to hit hard balls, heavy balls with these bats. So I'll go through there. I've got balls, just to let you guys know. I got that Freedom ball from like 3 years ago in my bag. 44 375 Freedom ball. And we're hitting it. It hasn't got waterlogged because, for one, I don't hit in the water. If it's dew on the ground and I show up, it's going to be a beautiful day. I'll back out. I won't. And the guys will be going, we're going to breakfast? Yeah, let's go to breakfast because I ain't hitting in this. That's how anal I am when it comes to when I was doing senior softball bat reviews and now short porch, because I don't want to give you guys bad readings on bats because I already know. It's just something that I picked up on 16 years of hitting when I'm doing bat reviews. And if you go back and look at the videos from back then too, you'll see that I talked about that. I talked about balls getting waterlogged, what to do. This is one of those guys. I'm not going to say his name. You can hear him talking, right? You can hear him. It's going off. He's a rep out of California, and he doesn't even watch me. Yeah. Mikey Garibay. Not him. Mikey, he's on the California coast. So you know who I'm talking about. Your coach. And he's calling me. And he just became a rep for us. Wow. And he's not watching. So this is something about to do, and I know a lot of people don't do it, but to be a part of the movement, you've really got to study, you've got to listen, you've got to ask questions. And I think a lot of our seasoned reps out there need to help the younger guys that are just now coming on, 170 something of them just recently, and help them out. And if you guys have questions like uh, Bob and Rachel were talking about a portal, like getting everybody on there, and basically talk. I'm kind of like I want to talk about a bunch of things, but basically talk and get right information, because there's a lot of misinformation out there about Short Porch, you know. And like I talked about the other day, which has changed his statement about the Blackout X was weighted like the DDT OG. It's two different monsters there, made two different bats, two different swings. One's a one piece, the other one's a DDT two piece. So they're totally different. Now, weighted like the DDT is different too. There's dual distribution, two weights in this bat, one here, one there. Mr. Murray, one here and one there. Not in this. There's no weight in this. That's a rubber garment. That's all it is. Looks good, doesn't it? You take it off, its connection is right there, right? There's weight in here. So two different weight distributions between an end load, you know, and then you have a dual weighted barrel in that. They're taken off across the board. All the DDTs are taken off across the board. Definitely. There is, I think Jeff's going to come on here. A lot of people have been asking me and Jeff, and we don't do this, and we will not do this. And they're asking for donations of bats in tournaments, because what they do, if they have a 6-field complex or 8-field complex, they'll pick one field that will represent your bat only if you're a bat manufacturer, and the other bat manufacturers get on another field, and they kind of rotate everybody to swing the same bat. No, we're not going to do that. So if you're watching this, don't even ask, because we're going to tell you no. We did it. We did it for a rep, you know, from Texas one time. Didn't want to do it, but we don't like doing that for a few reasons. One of them, we don't get our bats back. I can see if they're using them as demos, you know. And plus two, you can't stick, guys. Listen to this. This is common sense. You can't stick brand new bats on a field and expect them to perform at their top notch. Bats have to have swings on them, it being 50 swings or 200 swings. So you're giving a bat that these guys just want the bat to use on that tournament. You're giving a bat to them, and you're taking the chance that that bat's not going to break in by the time they get done with that tournament. So they're going to get a false sense of how good that bat is, right? They're going to say that bat sucked. Well, you didn't break it in. Maybe it's made for a faster swinging guy, right? So they're going to lean more toward the older seniors bats that we build. Well, that bat's badass. Well, no, swing this one. No, that bat sucked to hit a tournament. It was brand new, you know? So they want donation, these guys. They need to figure something out with this. At least take the bats out and put 100 swings on them and then put them there. We ain't getting them back anyway. Another thing, too, is we give them to you. We don't give them back. You turn around and sell them. So do the math on that. You get 5 to 6 bats at 8 fields. They're going to turn around and sell them, let's say, $150 on a top tier. $150, lower tier, probably $100. That money goes back into that tournament. That's a fucking cash cow right there. They're making a shit ton of money after us giving them the bats. And it doesn't show any proof. The analytics, it doesn't show any proof that increases sales. You know what increases sales? Good reps. Badass reps increase sales, right? Us talking about the bat on a podcast. So when we turn you down, we're not being arrogant. We're just saying, hey, we have a better way of doing it. That we don't have to give you bats that might be misread because they're not broken in. Because we do build bats that you have to break them in a little bit, right? They're hot as shit, but you still got to break it in. So let's say in that tournament, some smaller guy grabs the bat that has to be broken in. He's going to think that bat sucked. So that's the reason we won't do it. We won't do it going forward. So if you guys want to ask, it's not a direction that we want to go in. That's the old way of doing shit. And I'm not saying anything about what you're doing. I'm just saying we have such a big platform. We have such great reps out there that are talking for us, you know, that are on social media. That here's the deal too. That tournament, how many people are you going to think are going to watch that tournament? Yeah, if they videotape every game, probably a lot, but they don't do that. I'm going to say, let's say 200. How many views does Rachel get on a podcast, or Rachel get on hitting one of those hit tracks? How many views that she gets on that? Thousands. So why wouldn't you lean more toward doing this? How many views I think I'm going to get on this within 24 hours or 48 hours? 10,000. So I reached 10,000 people talking about our product. You understand it doesn't make sense. We're giving away bats. We don't have to give away bats. We'd rather take those bats, give them to someone else, have them swing them with a big platform, you know? What's up, brother?
Man, what's going on?
See, you came on right when I got done with that. I didn't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to be a dead horse. And I don't know if you were watching that part, but it's basically talking about giving bats away. Me and you talked about this the other day, giving bats away for people to swing. And you're exactly right. You said this years ago, actually a year ago. You said that our platforms are so big, we don't need to do that. We have a crew of people because of what you did a month ago. We have a crew of people that are actually doing that for us, and they're like thousands of views compared to a few hundred views that people watching that bat or people swinging that bat on that field. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as you know, as far as bat giveaways, me and Brandon, we was laughing about this yesterday about, before lunch every day you get 15 people asking for free bats, which is normal. I will say we are over our factory hitter limit for 2026 already. Factory hitters is not something we're really interested in doing, and we're already 3 or 4 over what we planned on doing. So, so there won't be any factory hitters. Signature players will be mostly dealt with at Brandon Murray's discretion. So as he will handle in it, we'll have those meetings. So, but yeah, free stuff. We're not looking to give away free bats. Obviously, we have enough trouble keeping them in stock sales wise.
Yeah.
When you're selling out, there's no reason to hand out free bats. I did see on here one of the reps was talking about headbangers and Smash It Sports seem to get more inventory to Short Porch. On 2 of our last bat drops, Smash It didn't even get maybe 3 headbangers at times. More than 3 reps that I know of get more bats than headbangers this year. They just don't sell them fast because they're selling all the brands, and we're just selling Short Porch. They are at times less than 5% of the total. So I just wanted to clear that up. That's complete bullshit and false information, because that is false information when I have 2 reps that are bigger accounts than them. Yeah.
See, that's a lot of false information out there. And I said, I think I said in the podcast, if there's something that's going on, text us, let us know, and we'll be totally blunt with you and tell you exactly yes or no. We're not going to get too far into it and just say, no, that's not true.
That's just absolutely not true. Our sales power for Short Porch bats is 1,000 times what they have, as they move all products and have reps selling all products.
Yeah.
So it may sit there on their floor. Any retailer may sit there when we're blowing through, but we have these reps that I know of several reps. Sean Thompson talked about it today. When we have a bat drop, he comes in and buys 10 minimum, sometimes 20, 30. So that's just, and Sean's not even one of the he's a great rep for us, but he's not even one of them that buys really a lot.
No.
So you're just behind the 8 ball, behind these power reps that are doing so well and moving 6 figures worth of sales out there. And I'm not going to limit them on what they get for doing a good job. If I have a rep come in and want to buy every bat, he can buy every bat, So,
yeah, exactly.
And bats are, as we know, we're tripling. We doubled last year in inventory, and we've already tripled going forward this year. And we're still going to sell out because of our sales power. So, and I get only 1 bat this month sold out, and that is the Blackout X. So what happens is everybody in the market goes to every rep. You'll have one guy go to 25 reps, and they think, oh man, I could have sold a bunch of them. Well, only 1 bat. There's 4 or 5 other bats we got in this month. They're all still in stock. And if you're out there pushing the brand, then you wouldn't be wanting just that 1 bat that anybody could sell. anybody from another bat company could sell a Blackout X right now.
Yeah.
So,
There's
but we have tons of bats. We have both OGs in stock, and we were testing the OGs today, and they are phenomenal bats. The Blackout X is not a higher performing bat over the OG series. And again, somebody saying that is false information because it's just not true.
yeah.
And both OGs are in stock right now.
See, the
So,
OG and the OG and the Blackout OG, the OG DDT and the Blackout are two totally different monsters. They're not even on
yeah,
the same page. In performance, they're pretty close. I would say the same, but
yeah.
they swing totally different. There are different things were done to each bat to make them perform very well. And the DDT is totally different. It swings totally different. You know, that's and it's weighted totally different too. So it's just what we do. And then the Blackout X, that bat took off. That bat,
Yeah.
everybody's asking, because here's the deal: a lot of reviews are coming out on that bat. We already sold out. So exactly what
Oh
we've been
yeah,
talking
it
about.
moved real quick, even higher than anticipated. Obviously, because we
Yeah,
sold out so fast. With the OG right behind it, that was the most sought after bat. So we were getting more than 50 calls a day from reps wanting the OGs, and the Blackout X just killed the OG.
yeah,
The Blackout X just being the new bat out. And being spin tech, it does add a layer of durability. It does add weight. It has a lot of great um, has a lot of great uh, attributes to that bat, obviously, but so does the OG and so does the OG DDT.
yeah,
The OG DDT, we were hitting it today. Actually, the durability wasn't just so good. We hit them the last 2 days, and the OG DDTs were holding up. They were holding up like any spin tech bat we've made right now on the ones on the floor.
yeah,
So hitting them inside in a controlled environment with not hard balls though.
yeah.
Yeah. So
See, that's the thing. Not hard balls like a
yeah.
lot are using, you can't they can't get away from it. They can't. It's probably they don't want to go out. And I understand they don't have the money to go out and buy a whole new 2 cases, 3 cases of balls if they're going to hit a lot.
Yeah.
So I understand that part, but you got to understand we got to tell you what you're going to do to your bat, and that's across the board. It's what you're going to do to your bat. You're gonna crack them. You're going to break them. So definitely,
Yeah. The bats are, the bats are really really come a long way, and we have a lot of different models for a lot of people. The Bayou is probably the top selling bat we have right now in house, and they're still in stock. So that is, that bat is flying off the shelf every day. So the as is the Fat Guy BPU Triple SA bat.
yeah,
Just absolutely been, on a run, sales run. Both of them bats, both of those bats are in stock also. Again, there's only one bat out of stock, so I just I just wanted to clear that up. So
let's talk about Brandon Murray for a minute. I was out of town when you did that podcast, but he came in. He took the offer and came in, and he's going to start working on that baseball side, and then he's going to be working with those signature players too for next year. But what a better guy, man! I played against him. I think it was nine. It had to been it was 2000, 99, 2000, 2001. I played against him back in the day when they're out of Houston. Hell of a player, carries himself very well, not arrogant at all, and talk to anybody. I watched him. I
you
watched
know,
him at the tents. I watched him at the tents. We're in Vegas. Very
well, Brandon's been with us a long time, and we have a lot of short porch people. We have a lot of reps. We have some hitters. We have a lot of people. We have 3 girls that do tremendous jobs for us in the market.
yeah,
Um, and we know a lot of people. And when it come time to fill our next position, it wasn't. We didn't interview any of these people because they had been interviewing for a long time already because they had
yeah,
been with short porters. So We didn't need to interview anybody. We knew their background, or we could find out a little more about their background, which we may parlay into that about something else later. However, um, Leslie and I, we believed that Brandon Murray was the best fit. We know he's the best fit. Every attribute he has tells us that he's the best fit. Brandon Murray is one, he's a presence. He is detail oriented, like anybody I've ever seen.
Definitely.
He is persistent. He has work ethic. He is in the largest market for baseball in the country, probably in the world, because travel baseball is bigger here in the U.S. than anywhere else, obviously. So he is in the largest market in the world for travel baseball, and we're about to launch baseball bats.
Yeah.
So with that being said, there was nobody else who would have the qualities to meet what we needed to do more than Brandon. We had a lot of good people we could have put in that position. I wanted to say that, and a lot of people I would like to see at short porch if we had positions available. But Brandon Murray stood at the top of that list, and second wasn't close, you know. And I think everybody can see that by the things I just said. But his work ethic at his age and what he does in the weight room, his detailed, his details on the field, that speaks volumes to me.
Yeah.
We are a sporting goods company. He did have his own business that, he is winding down to come on full time short porch, and that says a lot. So again, congrats to Brandon Murray. I know you weren't available. I wanted to have you on so you could tell him personally. I don't know if you've talked to him yet. I know you just got back in town, so maybe not.
Yeah. No, I haven't talked to him. I did say congratulations on a text via text message, but whatever. And we when we talked about this, and I was like, wow, that's amazing, because I love the guy. I watched the way he worked, and I'm like, very approachable. He talks to everybody, and here and I hit with him, or I watched him hit whenever he was getting ready for a tournament, and he came in a few days before tournament. His intensity during a tournament is different. He changes, metamorphs into this person. Like, don't look at him. Don't look at him. I was telling Clem, don't look at him. Don't look at him. Just let him do his stuff. Right. So I like that. I like it. Gets up for them tournaments, and then his passion whenever he's playing too. So that's an attribute for what. And then when he talks to people, like he's at the tent, he's just talking. He's not off messing around. He's actually at the tent, sitting there and talking to people. He doesn't come and go. He stays there when he's there at the tent. So yeah, definitely a hell of a pickup for short porch. And it's going to add popularity in that baseball market whenever he's taking hold and going. And he is a student athlete. You just look at him, you can tell he's
Brandon
especially
it's a great guy, and more than anything, just like us, will you take the time to talk to the AA players? Will you go out there and be for the E players, will you be a role model? So Brandon's, he just recently played tournament with some of the younger short porch guys, and they weren't really E players at this point. With the guys Cage is able to bring in, they're more like a damn small conference team. But they he still tutored them, mentored them, and they look up to him. Hell, I look up to him. So and he just has a presence. He has that presence about him, and he's going to bring that to short porch. People listen when he talks, and again, he's approachable. He talks to all classes of softball and works with them as well as baseball and fast pitch. And he's just a great dude.
yeah, definitely hell of a guy. Hell of a guy.
Yeah.
What else we have? Do we have any of his bats left? Right?
Yeah, we have plenty. Like I said, only bat from any November stock or launches. The only thing we don't have in stock right now is the Blackout X, which just took off really fast. You know, if you get to the scared bats, that was a Halloween series. That was October. That's long ago. That's not. They weren't supposed to be sold in November. We do have an In and Out Christmas series coming soon, and that'll be in and out real quick. So if you want one of them, you'll have to grab them within 24, 48 hours, or you won't see those. Because again, it's just for Christmas, as well as some other bat launches coming next month. And I will say this too. You know, talking about reps, guys. You know, look on the website, see if they're stocked, because we get tons of emails every day. Do you have this in stock? And there's 120 of them sitting on the shelf out there, and you can look online and see they're in stock on our website.
Well,
Now if you're looking for one to see if Cage has one in his office or if he's traded around one, then you can hit up Cage and Christian for that, or a used one. But as far as just normal stock, don't no, don't be sending emails asking if we have a bat in stock when they're in. You can look on the website.
I get those too. I get
Yeah, I
those
mean,
too. How can I purchase this bat? Or how can just get on the website and you can do it? And I'm looking down like, okay, and I stop and I got to read it, because I read
yeah,
all the text and seeing, but
yeah.
yeah,
We get it about balls and bats all day from customers. We have to answer because they're purchasing stuff, but we get it all day for reps. Do you have 44 375s in stock? I can't even remember the last time 44 375s weren't in stock. We've had them in stock for 6 months.
yeah.
So I don't, they're on the website, they say in stock. So most of the reps have portals now where they can go in. And if you didn't have your login and you're not set up, just call. You can get your order in. Just simply call the office, Monday through Friday, and they'll put it in and they'll work with you on getting it in the system. Erica just learned how to do it without Leslie. Leslie's time is really divided up. So now Erica can fix any portal situations. What happened to everybody who had an account with Short Porch before they became a rep and they used the same email, that it wouldn't let the emails merge, which that was nothing we could do about that. So we have to erase their old account, and they didn't realize that. And believe it or not, we had I think 23 reps who typoed their email and left a dot or a C or something out.
I've
And
done that.
they were calling in every day. I can't get in my portal because they didn't type their email in correctly. 23 was the last count on reps not typing their email in correctly.
How many reps we have across the board?
Right now, I think there's around 250 that I'm somewhere around that number. And we have about 350 total ambassadors, that just people who push the Short Porch brand via, for whatever reason. For us, there's about 350 across the world, because some of those are in other countries. So it's a lot. And I tell people all the time, we have a little rep group and there's like 30 people on it. And somehow those 30 people think they're the whole 350.
That
which
happens.
which baffles me that they think they're it. Yeah.
That actually happens. I've
Yeah.
that, you know. Um, Definitely. Okay. When are these coming back in? I know we sold out pretty quick, and it's getting
Yeah. So
so
I'm not sure if there's 5 pallets of them coming. I'm not sure if all 5 pallets are en route. They're finished and shipped to us.
yeah.
I think they will be to us in, to be safe, I want to say 3 weeks. I'm hoping to be safe 3 weeks with the holidays and all shipping. I want to say 3 weeks,
Yeah.
probably. So, May, I'd say right before Christmas, we'll have them, and we'll have them through January, February. Heck, up north, it's cold in March too.
Yeah.
I think senior guys just hit them year round. If you want to really save your bats and not drop compression and BP. So it's, so it's, it's good though. It's good. And like I said, we'll have those in. I think balls coming in totally in stock. We're going to have a lot more next year too, as we've went up by 10 times in production for 2026.
Yeah, I heard you mention that the other day about next year's balls are going to be, we're going to have them in stock most of the time for next year. Uh, Bat bags, have you, you're kind of cracking up a little bit. So bat bags, you can probably still talk, but somebody asked me the other day about the backpack bat bags.
We hadn't re-upped the backpacks because we didn't get a lot of calls for them. I can.
Yeah.
We have the roller bags will be in stock also in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
My internet coming in and out.
Well, yeah, I can hear you now, but yeah,
Okay.
you're freezing up,
Yeah.
but I can hear the voice it only cracks up every
I
once in a while.
got you. There you
are.
I didn't get on the internet. I noticed right now I'm on 5G T-Mobile. I didn't hook to the internet. That's my fault. But yeah, the bat bags are coming in. They're scheduled to be in a couple of weeks as the new batting practice ball that is loved by everybody. So it's really a lot of cool stuff there. And you know, but are you going to drop a big announcement tonight, or are you going to wait? That's up
I,
to you. This one's on you. I'm
no,
good either
no,
way.
no. Here's the deal. The deal wasn't done with me. I don't know a lot about that deal, but yeah, we can drop it tonight. I don't know about that deal, but that's your deal. You need to bring that up. Like like
Well,
I told to Tammy the story that you told me about getting on LinkedIn, and all of a sudden you seen her resume, and it's like, wow, okay, and then yeah, I'll add in there a little bit too, but you can announce it. That's fine, because it's done.
yeah.
It's
So I
done.
know, I know. We said we had a big announcement, and a lot of people were asking when we were going on and these kind of things. And so, guys, I'll tell the story because it's a real cool story. As we're just getting busier and busier, and Leslie, she goes to Myrtle Beach, does a lot of shopping with her first cousin Sherry, who owns the Immediate Med in Myrtle Beach, and they do it every year Thanksgiving. So she was about to take off and struggling to get her work caught up, and she's like, you and Dave, and now we got Brandon and Todd, and y'all are just killing it. Y'all sales are quadrupled, going up, and are set to double again next year. Well, I need help, right? Basically, and and one of the hardest things that she has to keep up with is accounting. Accounting being kind of hard for somebody who's hasn't did it. It's just not a field she worked in the past. She's been doing it for Shortport since the beginning via the CFO title, right? So but to free her up, I'm like, all right, we'll bring somebody in 2026 to help you to free up time, because we just need her doing other things, a lot of fast other things that she's really good at, like computer coding. We talked about it today. She's the only person that can write code. None of us can write code. We can't troubleshoot the website like she can. So it's really hard to get her to fix things if there's a problem, because she's got a million other things on her plate. So that being said, we're like, well, let me check out. I have an idea, and I got on my phone right that minute. This is like breakfast time Saturday, and I pull up Tammy Turner's LinkedIn page, because I'd only picked up pieces, because we're not together a lot. Y'all are in
Yeah,
San Antonio,
yeah,
and I've spent time with Tammy, but not not as much as you. We don't talk. We don't. I don't talk to her unless we're all together, right?
yeah.
So I picked up bits and pieces about what she had did in her past. So I thought there was something in accounting in there. So boom, there it is. Tammy did accounting for the San Antonio Spurs
Yeah.
to some degree. I'm not sure great detail. And she went on to climb the ladder all the way to the top, guys. It's impressive if you look at Tammy's LinkedIn page. So I got on it. I could have just called her, but I got on the page, did a little background, and found that. And there was a lot of other things like HR. Tammy has already helped us out with, guys.
Yeah.
She had already just doing out of the goodness of her heart because she loves Short Porch and obviously Dave. so, with that being said, with you guys moving to Savannah, it was a good fit. We didn't want her to go elsewhere. We felt like losing her would be a mistake for Short Porch. So, all things, nothing to do with Dave being married to Tammy, because I would hire her a million times in a row. If she didn't even know Dave, I would hire a million times over. Uh,
Yeah.
and she's probably overqualified to even be with our company, but we are thankful to have her. And Tammy Turner is our newest executive over HR and accounting for Short Porch for 2026.
Yeah. Here's the deal, guy. I didn't even know what they were doing. So Jeff is
Yeah.
texting, goes, "Hey, how come you're not calling me about our new pickup?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Did I miss something? I thought I missed your phone call, you know?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Are you not talking to her?" And I'm like, "No, I'm at the branch. I'm not. We talk at nighttime, and that's it." And and all of a sudden you told me, and I'm like, "Oh, you got to be kidding! What did she say?" The one thing I will say, although she is my wife, you're getting something there, man, that she doesn't like talking about those things. She doesn't like talking about who she's counseled through the Spurs. The high executives, the presidents from the Spurs talk to her whenever they need advice for things, human resource stuff or accounting. Yeah, she did go through that chief accounting. She was the chief accounting for the Spurs, and she did payroll for them going up. The Spurs guys, and she took care of all that.
Yeah.
She started off 28 years ago, 29 years ago. She started off real at the low end and worked her way up through that. That's impressive to me. Got her
Yeah.
bachelor's, got her master's in business, and went through all that while raising two kids too. Before I came along, and then she helped raise my kids too. So because I got my kids, so yeah, she was taking phone calls in the middle of the night, human resource stuff. She drafted, and I know it's hard to believe, she drafted a lot of the things that we talk about. We're talking about things to do and things not to do. She's the one in there that I'm talking to her what I want done, right? She's in there typing it all up and what do's and what not to do. Yes, you can do that. No, they shouldn't be doing that. Just things like that. And recently, through something else, she says, no, that's unacceptable. And she's the one that I go to whenever I need something to fix. And even when we had our business, right? Because we had a freight company together, she was there. She was right in it while working for the Spurs too. So she had
Yeah.
two jobs back then. She was doing payroll back then, right? She was taking care of all that. So yeah, she's a great fit, and she's a softball player. She played fast pitch, so she can get into she like she told me. She goes, I came out of sports and now getting back into sports, and I think I'm gonna love it. And plus the growth, that was her biggest thing, was the growth. Like this, she sees where we're going, right? And she's been a part of the San Antonio Spurs for 27 years, and she's been in that environment. What better person would you have want to run that? Um, um, what better person to run that than her? When it comes to
Yeah.
that human resource thing too, because she's handled a lot of stuff, man, and to have her, I think I feel better that she's going to be doing this. So we worked together before, so it's not a problem. It's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. She has a impressive resume, work history, to say the least. I'll tell you, it is very impressive. So we're lucky to have her. And I said it today. I said a company like ours, there's a few people that we shouldn't even have, that should not even be doing this with us. They should be with monster Fortune 500 corporations. But I also came from a Fortune 500 corporation, so
Yeah.
don't don't think we don't know how to draft or to build a corporation, because
Yeah.
it's coming. It's coming.
I tell you
We're on the ground doing it as fast as we can. You know.
what you got with her with the experience with the San Antonio Spurs. I mean,
Yeah.
she was charged 5 different things there. This wasn't human resource. It was one of them was human resource. She's charged of the building. She's charged of 3 other things: administration, testing. I mean, making sure people, just going through the testing on hiring. Right? She did all of that stuff.
Yeah.
The firing. She did all of that. I mean, so yeah, you're getting somebody that was a part of that big company to come along with Showporch. Now look at the growth. Now look at the professionalism that she carries with that, which there already was here, but to add her onto that, they've been a part of something like that. The advice from her, it would be amazing. The counseling from her,
Yeah.
because I get it all the time.
Well,
I get counseling from her all the time. No, you
I will say this: she did a lot of those things already,
yeah,
and out of the goodness of her heart.
made me
As
look.
Brandon did a lot of things for Short Porch, a lot of people do. I look at the Sean Thompsons, the Alan Hancocks, who has just been die hard, working hard to grow the SB brand. Stacy, Rachel, Cindy, the three girls, as I call them, they do so much for us. And man, I wish we were hiring 100 people, because we'd find them all spots.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, however, we have to be very calculated in our moves right now, and we know that these were the two best people, because they 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 fit what we needed, and that's the way it should be. You shouldn't just you shouldn't hire people and bring people on because you love them, or you like them, or they're your friends, or the people we have are very calculated. They wouldn't be here. So that's what I can get at.
yeah.
Christian is, he is here for his great attributes and what he does and brings to the table. As is Cage, they're here for their attributes and what they bring to the table. And as you know, they are killing it. They are exceeding expectations on a daily basis, and they, you know, people from the outside, they may not always see that or understand that. But what I can tell you is that they've exceeded every goal put in front of them, and it hasn't been close.
I think
So,
every move that we made has been great. I think with
yeah.
Brandon Murray, and then you bring in Tammy on with that corporate mindset, and has been there and done that with everything. When she was a
Mhm.
part of she was part of the executive team with the San Antonio Spurs too. So she's been in the grind of all that, and to have her come on, it's just gonna amplify what we want to do going
Yeah,
forward.
absolutely. Yeah, which is build infrastructure. I talk about it all the time, is building infrastructure around a fast growing company, the fastest growing sporting goods company, which is Short Porch by far, and it has been for some years now, since a bat review guy showed the world what the number one bat in the country was a few years back on New Year's Eve, and even before that. So that being said, we have to build the infrastructure around it. We're responsible for it. We can't do it alone anymore. I always thought there was a time where I could just work around the clock and do everything, and I wouldn't have to depend on anybody. But right now, I mean, I was looking, I had my softball coach today thought I was mad at him. He was texting me. I wasn't getting back with him. Went on and I answered anybody's text, and he was me, and I still couldn't take. He thought I was pissed at him. Like, man, I'm not. I'm just joking around with me like a softball guy. And I'm like, man, I don't have time to call you back. I called him eventually. It's like, man, I'm not mad at you. I'm just busy. But
See, but
it's funny, but
you knew.
you can't do everything.
Well, no, especially as big as we've
Yeah.
gotten in the last 6 to 8 months, it was going to get like this. You know that and we talked about this a long time ago. You and Leslie need to be pulled away from being on the front lines. and y'all need to do what you do, right? That's the only way we're going to grow. So you hiring people to take that spot, I think it's great. Or delegating authority for somebody to take
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and that's, and we have Todd and Sarah out there doing what they do. They've been phenomenal since Todd's came on. He's did a lot of new things. He's looking at things differently from a sales perspective, as is Brandon. So Erica has come a long way. All our people that have just evolved. They've evolved into their positions as we believe in having a team of free thinkers
Yeah.
of what can we do next. Like you bring me an idea, Jeff, let's go do this. And, I'll, usually it's a good thing. I only remember maybe once, one thing I didn't want to get involved with, and I'm like, nah, I don't see it. I don't understand how that's going to work, and I just don't want to mess with it. You may know what I'm talking about, but
Yeah.
most things, we brainstorm and we make it happen, and we move quickly, you know.
See,
So it's good.
that's what I like about, coming up with ideas to you, and you design it. And I tell this story with both of the bats. There's another bat we're not going to talk about, but maybe next year sometime. But I was
Yeah,
talking about it in Vegas, and you designed it that night, and you had to get up next morning and go get in the tent. Remember, we got in at 11.
absolutely.
You had designed it by that next morning and sent me pictures of it. So I guess you got on the phone with talking to China about, hey, this is what I want done. Can you do it? And then they send you pictures back of them doing it. So that's what I love that shit. That's like within
and
less
this
than
is
12 hours.
And this is what's great about, you know, having your own people in the factory, people that are short porch people, is we can move quick. And this is what's great about us having our own floor, um, our own facility to run all the bats like we do have the balls for years. So we can pivot and move quickly on things and new ideas. And a lot of times crap don't work. People only see the
Yeah.
good things.
Yeah. That
So
is true.
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I had two future bat models today. We've been testing for 2 days, and we've been testing them against the OGs, because the OGs, that's the top of the line.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any higher performing than that. And one went real great, the other one didn't. We're 50-50 there. But I'll take that in development. I'll take 50-50 hits, so I
Right.
was still ecstatic that one of them worked out.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of this I know you're missing out on right now, the
Yeah.
R&D side. I will say this: as we make changes, Dave will head up R&D for Short Porch. I think he knew that was coming, so he'll be on the ground. We just needed him on the ground, as Christian is going to get moved to VP of Sales for 2026, as he gets some help doing his jobs also. So,
Sweet.
um, so that'll be a huge help to us as you get on the ground here at Short Porch.
And there's a lot of good things going to happen when that happens, when I do get there. A lot of social media things that are going to be different. And we talked about that today, about what we're going to do with the building, when it
Yeah.
comes to that, and even hit tracks, stuff we're going to do back in there when it comes to that. And that's just
I
breast
think,
brainstorming, because we're
yeah, I
excited.
think a lot of the building may be done prior to you getting here. Sean was in house when I got off the
Oh,
phone with
yeah.
you
Right.
today, by the way. Yeah, so we may be way far along and or finished before you even get there.
Yeah.
So
Because he goes, this is the deal. We were talking today, and we're kind of brainstorming on what we wanted to do to the building, and it's all
yeah,
amazing, right?
yeah.
It's going to be pretty plush, And then I said, well, hey, I can do that. Like, I'm a carpenter, I can build stuff, I can build walls and ceilings. And he goes, well, Sean just got here, and let's
Oh
talk about
man,
maybe you
Sean
and me.
can do
I
anything, man.
know, man. I
Yeah.
knew that's it. He's going to get in there, and he's going to have that thing done by the time I get there. I knew he was going to do that. So
Oh,
yeah,
Sean owns Big Boy Targets, and archery targets. They're the best I ever seen. But with him owning his own business, I mean, that guy can do. I mean, he's a man's man. He can just one of them guys. He can fix anything, build anything, and he's going to come in and be helping us do all this at Short Porch. And I wish I could do that kind of stuff. I'm more. Believe it or not, I was more of a nerd, and even though I was a big sports guy, I played a lot of sports, but I'm just, working on cars and building stuff. I'll tell you, it's just not my thing personally.
Yeah.
So, but I commend everybody who can do it. You got to have patience to build stuff correctly. I think it takes a lot of patience.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And a lot of experience doing it too. I mean, when
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
young.
He's a very calm and cool guy. And again, Sean's another one, very detail oriented. You don't build stuff for a living unless you're detail oriented. Because he builds them with his hands. He's not on computers engineering stuff like I am, so I'm just moving real fast paced, and I'm able to shuffle things around on multiple screens. And I think a lot of people, their mind works faster with all the tech these days. We've got accustomed to moving faster.
Yeah.
And as AI jumps in there, you're able to do more things even at a quicker pace than ever before if you learn to use the tools. And
Yeah.
I will challenge anybody who's, I know we have tons of senior softball players follow you. Don't get behind on the future of technology. Stay in tune with it because it can help you do all sorts of things just in daily life. So don't lose touch with being able, to do a lot of cool stuff.
You
So
know, you know, a prime example of that, Jeff, is I'm 65 years old and I started doing AI stuff, having them generate my podcast for me. It has blown up. And I was like that I pushed the envelope. I wanted to go that next level to stay up with everybody else. So I grabbed an AI, that would generate all my 30-second clips, and that thing is boom. I mean, we're not talking about just a little bit on views. It's 150,000 more views just on
yeah,
YouTube alone. That's a month,
yeah,
150,000 more a month from what my
yeah.
standard, and my standard was really big because it was that standard from Senior Softball Bat Review. So I would pull in probably 50,000 a month. Now it's 150,000, 200,000. So
Oh,
it's blown up just by
and I
doing
know
AI.
I know since you've been an administrator of the Short Porch page, I know we used to hang around 1 million views in 28 days. Now it's 2 million. So, and that's a lot of extra content you're just able to put on there
Yeah,
faster. So,
with
do 2
faster. Yeah,
million views a month. You have to be conscious. Let's put good stuff on there that people are interested in. And not only promote Short Porch, but just promote life in general. I know you put a lot of things on there that has nothing to do with Short Porch.
yeah.
So
But a lot of people want to hear that, and we're for the people. If we're going to sit there, to have a following that we do, we want to help people. That we want to help
yeah,
you go
absolutely.
back. We want to help you with exercise. We want to help you. We want to help you with nutrition. And just little things that we'll throw in there. How to get better as a rep. What to do, what not to do. As a player. I mean, that's something a lot of people. It draws a lot of people in. Doesn't matter if they buy Short Porch or not. They still want to hear that stuff because we're in there.
Yeah, absolutely, and promote the sport that got us here. Senior softball, especially, has a lot to do with health and nutrition, like you talk about, weightlifting and training. If you want to play at the higher levels, you can play for fun, guys. You don't have to. You don't have to hit the gym like B Murray or Dave. If you just want to play for fun, man, let me tell you, I spent a lot of time at co-ed and double A. Them guys probably had the most fun. So no knock on playing at the top level. Do whatever it is that fits you. If you're out there playing for fun, or if your goals to get to playing at the top with the best players in the world, it's a different path to achieve those things.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
definitely. I agree.
yeah, nothing wrong with going out there co-ed and smashing five natural lights and playing co-ed for fun on a Thursday night. I've seen it, and I'll tell you, those people look like they're having an amazing time. I never really played that kind of recreational softball, but every time I'm around it, I think maybe I should have back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe I missed out.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
have played. I have
yeah,
memories from those days, and yes, I did play that growing up because I wasn't, I was the average guy. I didn't. I wasn't a
mm,
natural. I was not a natural. So I did play those co-ed, and I did play those leagues growing up, and it was amazing. I still have memories from that, and I to this day, and I
yeah,
talk about stuff that we did back then, and it was fun. We went home, and we hit it. We couldn't wait to hit it again the next week. So yeah, definitely, that's something I like appealing. I like that. That's the majority of our following is
yeah.
those.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. It is a recreational sport. Let's not forget. And I spent last week in Kansas City at the USSSA convention, and I think there's only I talked a little bit about it to you. There's only like 64 conference teams. Well, Lord knows that the millions of people that play slow pitch softball, there's only 64 conference teams. And I know they even probably spend too much emphasis on those 60 teams for the millions of players that are out there in their association. So, the Ryan Harveys of the world, those guys are badass. Austin Dahl, I seen him hit. Those guys really can step on balls. You get on the senior side, and you got people like Brandon Murray out there. I mean, guys, I know everybody wants to be like them. Shit, I do too. But that's not really what softball is probably all about for the majority. It's about fellowship and playing, and guys. A lot of those guys, I'd say the majority of them never even touch a weight room
oh yeah,
or work out. So they need the best equipment. And this is where getting the right bat that fits them can help them because, they may do whatever. They may work 60 hours a week in an EMS ambulance or something. And they're tired and they go out there on a Saturday and play 6 games. Well, hey, get them the best bat available, not just the best bat. Heck, I'll tell you right, guys, right now, if you're a senior player and you don't have Hokas on your feet, you're crazy as hell. Get Hokas on there and wear Hokas,
yeah.
invest in Hokas. I'll plug them right now. I hope one day we can make a shoe as good as them because that's the best shoe you'll ever put on if you're out there playing a bunch of games and you're over 40 years old,
Yeah.
um, you know, don't go out there and wear cheap turf shoes. You'll kill yourself.
Yeah, they're amazing. I have a 3 pair at the house, and I hit BP in them, and I love them because they're soft on my feet. I got bad feet anyway from years of playing,
Yeah.
and being heavy, 250 pounds, and you played as long as I have. That kind of takes a wear and tear on your feet. So, but the foot problem, the Hokas helped me tremendously. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Help me.
they're
Yeah.
amazing.
Help me. Yeah.
Definitely.
I bought,
What?
I bought New Balances, Fresh Foams. They're a great shoe, and 20-year-olds probably get away with wearing them. And after 2 tournaments, nah, man, I tossed them things to Cage. I said, "Here's your new pair of turf shoes. I'm going back to Hocus." you know, I
There's a
couldn't do it.
there's a really good shoe out there right now that I've plugged for years, and it's Solomon's, and they're
Yeah.
made, but for the lighter weighted guys, right? Because they don't have
Yeah.
much padding in it, but they're awesome. They're expensive, and they're well worth it.
Mhm.
They do last a long time.
They,
But Charlie Mueller hits in them, but they're amazing. They love them. But for us big guys, nah, it just tears up my feet, hurts my shins. I need some padding underneath there. So
and
yeah.
your back, you're not having
Oh
good shoes
yeah.
to hurt your back. So.
Yeah. Do we have a black something coming on? When's Black Friday?
Yeah, so we have the Secret Santa sale Leslie put in before
Yes.
she left. We were gonna wait and drop it actually on Black Friday, but she was going on vacation, so she ran it all week. The Black Friday sale is you put in, you get a huge discount. You order a senior bat or a U-trip bat, and basically, someone in the warehouse just grabs you that size bat and sends it to you. And you can look at what we have in stock. It'll be one of those bats, you know. So
Oh,
but you don't get to choose your bat. I'm getting tons of messages. Can I choose this bat or that? But no, that's the whole Secret Santa thing. I thought it was a great idea, and the U-Trip bats. One question with that is, are the U-Trip bats warranted? Because they're $100 off. They're absolutely still warranted if you get a Secret Santa bat. So I know the margin's not as great in senior, so we couldn't give that $100 discount. I'm sorry. Not for a Kevlar based bat. It's not going to happen.
no.
But we were able to get $100 off on U-Trip. I was really high about, and I think it's $50 off for senior. But the margin on senior bats with, again, a Kevlar based bat just wasn't quite there. So we did the best we could for a Black Friday sale. I know we've moved through a ton of them, but there was only 100 available as Secret Santa. And I will say this: I'll be working alone Friday, so if we run out, I may up and give some people, let a few more people buy them, 20 or 30 more, you know,
Sweet.
because I think we're going to run out of the 100 probably by Friday. So if I'm in there Friday, I'll probably up it so it can run through Black Friday.
Yeah, I wanted
Yeah.
you to explain that because a lot of people have been questioning me on that one.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I'd forgotten about it as we anytime you're gonna have a short week, and I'm working Friday by myself in there, and I will get everything shipped out Friday, just me. So I'll probably just be taping boxes from early Friday morning until UPS FedEx. I have a couple other things I'm gonna try to take care of, but I gave everybody Friday off, so I'm the only person. I did it last year, and probably will do it every year, but I'm the only person in there working. So if you call in, you won't get anybody on the phones or anything like that. I'll just be I'll just be shipping by myself, but I promise you, I can ship a lot of packages in there.
All right, guys.
So,
He's talking about something that he always do. He always does this. He's always working. So he's got like,
yeah.
I'll be working Friday, but he always works on night. I mean, I'm getting phone calls 11:30 at night, which is 12:30 there, and I'm like, "Where are you at?" "Oh, I'm at work. You know, I got to talk to China tonight. You know, I'm working on this or I'm working on that," and we'll sit there and bullshit for a while, or talk about product, or talk about what's happening. What do you think about this? I'll ask him, "What do you think about this?" And we'll kind of bounce the ideas off of each other. But he works all the time. No sleep, dude. You just work all the time.
I do. I crash sometimes, after if I work a lot of hours for several days in a row, it'll just kind of catch up with me and I'll sleep like 8 hours. No, but everybody's different. Some people
Yeah,
require a lot of sleep, some people don't. Especially a lot of people as they get a little older, they seem to sleep less and less. I know my mom doesn't hardly sleep, probably where I get it from, so but she's always been like that. Her whole life, she's always been one that she doesn't sleep much. She would be
yeah,
up in the middle of the night. You walk in the living room, she's in there like reading a book or something, scared the shit out of you.
yeah.
What are you doing at 3 in the morning, in the living room? So I kind of get that from her. And short porch is it's like a child for me. I'm trying to raise it up to be as good as I can be, and I know all you guys are too. I have the support of the whole team for sure.
Definitely, definitely. Can't wait. Can't wait for what's going to happen in 2026.
Oh man, 2026 is shaping up, right? And hey, y'all better be excited now to come to Savannah because I can't wait.
I
Yeah.
you told me all the tournaments that are happening in January and February, and you told me I knew about the one that's in January 18th. So I was like, I do want to make that one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I do want to make that one. Then the one that's going on the end of January into February, and then
Hmm.
I think they have something in February too. So that's the part. Like, okay, you talked about this earlier, and I want to explain this. I, I I'm from San Antonio. I don't know if you guys, the majority of the big tournaments in Texas is Dallas and Houston. It's a 4.5 hour drive one and a 4.5 hour drive the other one. So to
Yeah.
play far to go watch like I love to do or talk to people, you got to drive 4.5 hours there, get a room or a couple of rooms, and just it's just tough, right? So San Antonio's not. They have their leagues here. They have a tournament probably once. There's Kerrville that has a big tournament there. That's right outside, beautiful place, right outside San Antonio. That they're picking up. So all the softball places, the fields around San Antonio are gone. Or nobody hits them anymore. So moving, it's going to be totally different for me because moving to Savannah, Georgia, and then have access to all of those, like you were talking about, the other one that's in South Carolina.
Sun City, you're gonna be right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Sun
one.
City.
So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely getting that, something I've never experienced with the villas and stuff like that. And then what I have planned for next year with me and Todd doing the hitting clinics, and I'm already jotting things down on that, how we're going to run that. But I'd like to get a few of those going in that East Coast, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina area, and then Savannah, Georgia. But yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff plate for 2026, and we're going to hit the ground running when we get there. I'd love to get there earlier. That's the deal. Like, I am ready to just go. And then Tammy, today we were talking about moving and what we're going to take, because we have a lot of stuff. When we downsize from the big house into this house, we kind of downsized a little bit, so we got a lot of stuff in storage. So she was talking about how we're going to do this. So that's the thing we're working on right
Yeah.
now before Thanksgiving and then Christmas. We have everybody coming over tomorrow for Thanksgiving. There's going to be a house full. We're going to have a lot of food like we do every year. But yeah, it's want to want to wish you happy Thanksgiving for tomorrow, and I already wished everybody else too. But I can't
Yeah.
wait for 2026 on what that's going to bring, because we're going to blow the doors off. So many new.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We're thankful to all the players who, chose to swing short porch and use our balls and rep our gear, and it's extensive. And we're just really, really thankful for, everybody who got behind us, and we have a lot of great customers we talk to every day. So thank all you guys. We appreciate it. We look to do a lot bigger things next year. We're ramping up as fast as we can. It's been wild, but I know next year is even going to be more fun, and we can't wait to get you guys here. I know we'll be planning that, and I actually gave Tammy a date. I gave her a hard date, and Dave said she'll probably stick to it because that's how she is.
She is. She
So
she wants to know. She wants to know. She's a planner, right? When it comes
yeah,
to, she wants to know when she's got to be there so she can plan to get there. She writes it in a little thing where she's got all these sticky notes. So she's that way, right? And that's
yeah,
good. She keeps me in line, basically. She makes me better too. That's another thing too. Whenever it comes to the corporate world, when I had the Frank
yeah,
conference too. So I cannot wait for us to get there and get our go in and get our hands wet when we're dealing with short port stuff. But yeah, she's telling me, like, he gave me a date, like, this is how when we're gonna get there, and I'm like, all right, we can, don't worry about it, we can do it, we can get it sooner
yeah.
the
And
better.
yeah, really, that was just a date when I thought y'all would be available from
Yeah.
minding your conversation. So it's flexible, but it's kind of funny story. Thank y'all. I'll let everybody get to it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Don't eat too much. Drive safe on the roads. They're crazy. And we'll be back in. Everybody will be back in the shop next week. Feel free to call, and everybody will be there. I do believe we'll have some bat drops either next week or at the end of the week or the front of the following. So we'll get to that also.
Thanks, brother.
All right. Thank you, buddy.
Before I get off, I want to talk about the thing that I want to start doing, because I've been asked this question for years, probably around 12, 13 years, about heating clinics. A lot of people are trying to get me, a lot of people are trying to get me do them out of Kerrville for one, Austin for another one. Austin's bigger. Sad. It's uh, senior softball's bigger in Austin than it is San Antonio, but a lot of people wanted me to do it because, hitting with me, it's just that I pick up things on hitting through the years. And talked to a lot of people about hitting too, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to when I get there, because I thought as a working out of San Antonio and doing those things when there's not the big a draw out of San Antonio. If I was in Dallas or Houston, I probably would have did them. Our even the Valley has better senior ball than what we do in San Antonio. That's sad, but maybe they'll grow later. But yeah, being at Short Porch, I do want to run. Me and Todd talked about this and bring my own people on. Because Jeff has let me do this. You can do it. We'll set a tent up there, get Todd set a tent up there, and we can sell bats and do these hitting clinics, and then do it different, because I already told myself I would do it different than anybody else too. So the health, nutrition, workouts, how to get better. It's just not all about hitting. Just little things that I've learned over the last 45 years. I've been playing ball. So definitely that's something that I'm going to look into. Visiting the villas, doing it there. We're going to be a part of a villa in South Carolina. So that I can't wait. That's something that my desire to do is I've always, and giving back. That's another thing too, is giving back. Because doing the senior softball bat reviews and having a lot of people and having having a big platform to do whatever I want to do, and you guys let me have that. So you got to wait for that. That's something that I want to do, and it's just a different look at hitting clinics, because it's going to blow your socks off. It's going to be totally different. And stay tuned, guys. We got a bunch of drops coming up before the end of the year, and then next year, the stuff that's on the plate that you guys don't even have a clue. It's pretty amazing stuff. I'll